Hey people! Welcome to another video of Top 5 today. The world has changed over the years and a lot more changed as compared to a century before. Change is inevitable, and with every new human, every new perspective, every new idea, it is meant to happen. Today we are going to talk about top 5 weird things which used to be normal once. The fifth in the list is when ugly was illegal. Sadly, this is pre-apocalyptic non-fiction, even if the story seems like it belongs in post-apocalyptic literature. Being ugly was against the law 100 years ago in several American large cities. Take Chicago as an illustration. A ban on people who were diseased, maimed, mutilated, or in any other way deformed, so as to be an unsightly or disgusting object, from the streets of Chicago was first proposed by Alderman James Peavy in 1881 after he had had enough of the eyeball-attacking horrors of other people's misfortune, the Chicago Tribune reports. If you were seen to be too ugly to be seen in public, you had to either pay a fine of $1 to $50, which was a good amount back then, or go to the poorhouse, which was a sort of mental institution for the down and out. Public sentiment towards the crippled began to alter after World War I, when warriors returned home with amputated limbs and other disfiguring battle wounds, but nasty laws were still in place and were enforced up until the 1950s. It took until 1974 for Chicago's ugly statute to be formally repealed. The fourth in the list is when cigarettes cured asthma. It is a common misconception that cigarettes were once believed to cure asthma. While there was a time when smoking was considered a remedy for respiratory ailments, including asthma, it was not because cigarettes had any curative properties. In the early 20th century, smoking was promoted as a way to alleviate symptoms of asthma, such as coughing and wheezing. This was due to the fact that smoking can initially cause a dilation of the bronchial tubes, which can provide temporary relief to some asthma sufferers. However, this effect is short-lived and can be quickly followed by constriction of the airways, leading to further breathing difficulties. Additionally, it is important to note that smoking can actually cause or worsen respiratory problems, including asthma. Cigarette smoke contains a variety of harmful chemicals and irritants that can damage the respiratory system and increase the risk of developing asthma, as well as other lung diseases. Today, there is a growing understanding of the dangers of smoking and the harmful effects it can have on respiratory health. It is widely recognized that smoking is not a safe or effective way to treat asthma, and that there are many other effective treatments available, such as inhalers, bronchodilators, and steroids. The third in the list is airline stewardesses had to be hot because being hot was literally in the job description. You wouldn't be very surprised if we told you that in the 1960s some male CEOs chose secretaries based more on their appearance than their credentials. The airlines were one particular sort of company that really pushed the entire hot employee notion to excessive extremes. For good reason, most modern flight attendants detest the term stewardesses. Vanity Fair claims that the term stewardess dates back to a time when being able to attend passengers on lengthy flights mostly merely meant looking amazing in a little skirt. In those days, if you were at least 20 but not older than 27, slender and well-proportioned, and weighed no more than 140 pounds, at least 5'2" but not taller than 5'9", and single and childless, you may acquire a job as a stewardess. In essence, that meant that being hot and being available were your two main requirements for serving bags of peanuts and ginger ale. Job training included instruction on how to stand sexy, walk sexy, apply cosmetics, and style your hair. If you developed freckles, tanned skin, or, heaven forbid, a bruise on your allegedly flawless attractive legs, you may be fired. And, obviously, you had to retire at the age of 32. Coming up next is sending kids through mail. Sending kids through the mail is a practice that was briefly allowed in the United States in the early 20th century. In 1913, the United States Postal Service introduced a rule that allowed parents to send their children, who weighed less than 11 pounds, through the mail as a cost-effective way of transporting them to relatives or caretakers who lived in other parts of the country. The practice was only allowed for a short period of time and was not widely used, as it was quickly deemed unsafe and inhumane. There were concerns about the safety of the children during transit, as well as the lack of proper ventilation and care that they would receive while in the mail. In 1914, the Postmaster General officially banned the practice of sending children through the mail, and it has not been allowed since. While it may seem unthinkable today, the practice of sending children through the mail highlights the challenges and limitations of transportation in the early 20th century, as well as the importance of child safety and welfare. The number one that tops the list is human zoos. Human zoos, also known as ethnological expositions, were public exhibits of people from different parts of the world, particularly indigenous or non-European peoples, who were displayed in a zoo-like setting for the entertainment of Western audiences. These exhibits were popular in the late 19th and early 20th centuries and were often promoted as educational or scientific displays. However, in reality, they were often degrading and dehumanizing, reducing people from different cultures to mere curiosities for Western viewers to gawk at. Many of these individuals were taken from their homes and communities without their consent and were forced to live in deplorable conditions, sometimes alongside animals, while on display. Today, human zoos are widely recognized as a shameful and racist chapter in world history. They represent the exploitation and dehumanization of people based on their race, culture, and ethnicity. It is important to remember this history and to work towards creating a more inclusive and respectful world where all people are treated with dignity and respect. Alrighty. So these were the top 5 weird things which were actually considered normal once. I feel good to say that society really progressed a hell lot and we should be thankful to take birth in a free and developed society. Comment which one of these made you think in your mind WTF. Also, put up suggestions on things you want top 5 content on. I'll see you in the next video. And it goes without saying to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. And if you want me to say even then, okay, please guys like this video and subscribe to top 5 today. Happy. Alrighty, bye bye. Cheers.